Hi there, these comments are for SA, and I am Michael, the founder and the owner and the materials writer of OTC, OnlineTOEFLCourse.com, and you're one of my TOEFL Writing Bootcamp students, so I've done one error correction video already for you, and this is the second one. Okay, so first of all, let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. I'm trying to figure out your score here. Okay, with your essay, I gave you 3.0 out of 5, 20 points out of 30 on this, so I think that you're going in the right direction. My concern is the final paragraph. I don't think you have exactly captured, I think, the most important points there, so that's where you kind of had some trouble. And also, I think you need to develop ideas a little bit more. You have 186 words. Believe it or not, I know they can say, 150 or more, but I just don't see you scoring very high with this type of development. I'm going to recommend closer to 350, right? So if we take a look at the integrated writing rubrics, you have the response is oriented to the task. It conveys only vague, global, unclear, somewhat imprecise connections of the points made in the lecture to the points made in the reading, so especially the final paragraph. The response may omit one major point. I don't think you haven't left anything out. Some key points made in the lecture or the reading or connection between the two may be incomplete, inaccurate, and imprecise. Yes, this especially applies to your final paragraph. Errors, I don't think you have that many errors. All right, well, let's start from the beginning. We have the reading passage, and we have the lecture over here, and I have what you wrote in the middle here. And there's my video. Okay, so your first paragraph, the reading asserts that all employees should join all meetings because of 3 reasons. But the listening refutes this opinion by putting 3 opposite. But it doesn't say they should join all meetings for 3 reasons. The reading is talking about business success and how business success can be achieved by reading all materials, actually attending all meetings, reading all materials, and then skipping the steps of the writing process. So we'll say they should attend all meetings, read all required materials, and skip the steps of the writing process. And that what you wrote wasn't actually accurate. It's not just talking about that one thing and 3 reasons for that one idea, but it's the reading asserts that employees should attend all meetings, read all required materials, and skip the steps of the writing process. But the listening refutes this opinion you might want to say, if you say refutes, it kind of means opposite, right? Refutes this opinion for 3 reasons. So I think that's going to make it a little bit better. So the reading passage asserts an employee should attend all meetings, read all required materials, and skip the steps of the writing process, but the listening refutes this opinion, refutes these. How about for 3 reasons? I would say first, the author insists that employees and I think you need to develop your ideas a little bit more. So the author insists that employees attend so then we have to look what we have over here so that they can mandatory. So we can say because they help workers, and maybe we can say something about stay current with new technology. So notice how you have approximately 3 lines here, and that's about what we have here. So this is a little bit more balanced. So the author insists that employees attend all meetings so they can discuss issues within the company. In addition, the author believes that meetings should be mandatory because they help workers stay current with new technology. However, the lecturer says that gathering at meetings is a waste of time because long meetings are unproductive. And let's go over here. So we're looking at this area here. That gathering it says make clear you can stay for only the first 60 minutes. Long meetings between 60 and 90 minutes. You see that? Right here. The lecturer says that gathering at meetings, especially those meetings lasting longer than 60 minutes, is a waste of time because long meetings are unproductive. And I think that's good. So long meetings are unproductive, and people who join them cannot pay attention. I'm going to just put for longer periods of time. And see, don't get the we and the I and all of those personal pronouns, not in integrated writing, right? So, workers instead of attending longer than 1 hour, the lecturer urges workers how about to conduct business through emails or phone calls. There we go. So I think we have it here. So now, yeah, we're just about 100 words. That's usually more what you're trying to do is keep your paragraphs, even on independent writing, I'd keep them around 100 words. Okay, let's take a look at your next paragraph. Another important point to consider is reading materials. Okay, so the article recommends, you forgot to put the object or the indirect object pronoun in there, recommends employees to read documents entirely because of improvement of job performance. You may say, therefore, these workers should concentrate on the major and minor points of all reading materials with which they are provided. Okay, I think we have it. So the article recommends employees to read documents entirely because of improvement of job performance, semicolon. These workers should concentrate. How about throw a transition word in there? Should concentrate on major and minor points of all reading materials with which they are provided, which means which they are provided with. Nonetheless, the lecturer opposes this opinion I'm going to say here the speaker believes, instead the speaker believes employees should not read whole text and this is kind of what you're summarizing right here, right? Instead, the speaker believes that employees should not read whole text and should, they should tell important points from their boss. It says you come across, even if it comes directly from the boss, but This is where you're running into trouble a little bit. You want to maybe put even if their boss So you're having a little bit of trouble sometimes when you're explaining the ideas. Sometimes you're not always getting exactly the right thing. In this case, if you look over here, we have most likely only a very small part of the article is vital to your work. Maybe you need to remember the big ideas, not the intricate details. Yeah, it says another way to become efficient, you don't need to read the full text of everything you come across, even if it comes directly from the boss. And you want to say, poised to focus on the most important ideas in their required Okay, I think we have it. All right, we got 106. We have about 100 here, 98 words. This is the reason I really gave you the lower score, the 3, and you might even go lower than that. It says, following, although the writer mentions employees should write all documents, the professor claims it's more important to learn the writing skills and strategies than to write long documents. This is throwing you off a cliff. It says here, these employees should not separate the steps in the writing process because it's too time consuming. They should write the document all at once. So the writer mentions that employees should not follow the steps of the writing process they used when they were in college. The author believes then here in contrast, the professor claims if you look at the very end here, it says is to follow the steps in the writing process. When some people sit down to write a long memo, they insist on perfecting each sentence before moving to the next one. They want to complete all the stages of the writing process at the same time, a most difficult task. In my experience, this leads to very slow writing. A better approach separates the main steps in the writing process. First, compose an outline, write a rough draft, then revise, and then edit. So the professor claims it's more important that not following steps in the writing process will actually we'll see. Therefore, to complete a document successfully and, you might say, efficiently, writers should make an outline, therefore, to complete a document successfully and efficiently, the speaker encourages writers to make an outline, write a rough draft, revise the rough draft, and edit the document for grammatical errors. I think we got it. So this is the paragraph that really caused you to have trouble. And I don't think a conclusion is hugely important here in this type of task. But basically, if you look at what you wrote, what do we do here? Now we're at 343 words instead of 180 something. Okay, so let's take a look at the whole thing. The reading passage asserts that employees should attend all meetings, read all required materials, and skip the steps of the writing process. But the listening refutes these assertions for 3 reasons. First, actually, you said another than final, so maybe don't need to use first. The author insists that employees attend all meetings so they can discuss issues within the company. In addition, the author believes that meetings should be mandatory because they help workers stay current with new technology. However, the lecturer says that gathering at meetings, especially those meetings longer than 60 minutes, is a waste of time because long meetings are unproductive and people who join them cannot pay attention for longer periods of time. In addition, instead of attending meetings longer than 1 hour, the lecture urges workers to conduct business through emails or phone calls. Another important point to consider is reading materials. The author recommends employees to read documents entirely because of improvement of job performance. These workers, therefore, should concentrate on major and minor points of all reading materials with which they are provided. Nonetheless, the lecture opposes the assertion that employees should read all documents in their entirety. Instead, the speaker believes that employees should not read whole text, even if their boss tells them to read the entire document. The speaker encourages employees to focus on the most important ideas in the required reading and to skip over the less important, let's say, parts that they are reading. Finally, although the writer mentions that employees should not follow the steps of the writing process, we don't need that. Just say finally, the writer mentions that employees should not follow the steps of the writing process they use when they're in college. Instead, the author believes they should write the document all at once, since it's a waste of valuable company time to break a writing task into several steps. In contrast, the professor claims that not following the steps in the writing process will actually take writers more time to finish their business documents. Therefore, to complete a document successfully and efficiently, the speaker encourages writers, put that, should make an outline, write a rough draft, revise a rough draft, and edit the document for grammatical correctness. And if you want to do a conclusion, you don't have to, but you might say, therefore the lecture or the speaker in the lecture opposes the 3 important points mentioned by the author in the reading passage or something. You might say that at the very end. All right, so there you go. So I think for you, this is complicated. In order for you to get better with integrated writing, you have to be able to improve, I think, your reading and your listening comprehension, and make sure that you accurately and completely can explain the most important points from both sources. And that's why you notice I had to add quite a bit of information in this final paragraph, and that's why you got your lower score. All right, thank you.